We're here today to talk about real estate.
Hello and welcome back to the Real Estate Unlimited podcast. My name's Sierra Steinmetz.
I'm Kari Steele.
I'm Sean Durocher.
Bill Jones.
And we're the Jones Home Team.
And this is episode 43, and we got most of Jones Home Team here, I guess. And so we got a better looking Brian today. We got Sean Durocher.
Yeah, right.
Brian is out today. Let me see if I can pull up his info here. Sean's with Model Mortgage.
Yep.
What, second or third time on the show, I think? At least second.
Maybe second.
Yeah, second, third, I don't know.
Yeah.
Feels like he's here. But he's going to
week with you.
fill in here with all the mortgage talk, and we're going to yell at him about interest rates and all that fun stuff, see if he can figure that out for us. But yeah, a couple topics. Kari's getting into the 80-10-10 rule, which I love that. I'm going to talk about teams versus single agent. And Sierra, you had the see-through house. Is that what it was? Something like that. I kind of like that. That's fun. So let's jump right into it. Kari, let's get to the 80-10-10 rule. If I can pull that up here. I don't know what I did with it. Here we go. I found a website.
Great.
That kind of hit right on it, I think.
Yeah, I just use this. I use it quite often, actually, but I used it more recently on something. Somebody was putting an offer in, and they just couldn't get past the 10% of the stuff that they couldn't change about the house. And I'm like, look, we've been looking for a really long time. You're going to have to give a little on something of what you're looking for. Even if somebody's building a brand new house, and we've talked about this in past episodes, the 80-10-10, but even if you're building a brand new house, there's some things that you're going to have to give a little on, be it location because of your work or your budget. You can't have everything you want usually at once. So 80-10-10, 80% of the stuff when you're going to go look at a house, 80% of the stuff you love. Everything, 80%.
Yeah, it should check most of the boxes.
Most boxes, yeah. So if you have a laundry list, especially if you're unrealistic and you have a sheet of paper and every single thing that you could think of is on there of what you want, it's like you're not going to get a pool and a sauna on 10 acres in this location for this price. Like,
for
it's just
half the
not going to
budget,
happen.
you think? Yeah.
10% of the stuff is stuff that you can fix. So, wow, I love this house. I hate the kitchen. Well, if you can afford to change the kitchen, 10% of that of what the house is, you can fix, right? And then 10% you can't. So 80-10-10. So story, I was showing a house to a client. We've been looking at multiple houses. We've wrote multiple offers, and we get to this house that it needs a lot of work. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, these buyers are aging. They're thinking they want a low maintenance house.
Not the one we were just talking about for a while.
No,
right? Okay, yeah.
not
that one
one.
needs a lot of work.
Okay, this doesn't need a lot of work. This just needs a lot of upkeep. It's move-in ready if you're okay to accept it the way that it is. But there's just some features about it that are extremely dated. And I'm not talking 90s. I'm talking shag carpet, right?
Right.
So we get into the house, and you can tell that it's that feeling. Like, they know it's home. And so they're like walking through, and they're trying not to be too excited, but they're just talking about. And they're like, well, and then they start picking it apart. And I'm like, you loved this house from the moment you pulled up, and now you're picking it apart. Well, and they're looking at each other across the room, and they're trying to like say things without saying things, and I'm picking up on it. And I'm like, look, here's the deal. You can put in a lowball offer. You're not going to get it. This house is going to fly off the shelf. And it did. They didn't get it. We did go, I think we went above asking and all this and that. But, it was the 10% of the stuff that they couldn't change that really had them hung up. And I'm like, here's the thing. We wrote an offer on that one house, and I, say the address, and that didn't have this or that. And then we wrote an offer on the other house, and it had this, but it didn't have this. I was like, do you remember? I was like,
oh, so you were hitting
both
them with
of those
all this.
houses. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I was like, both of those houses were amazing, but they didn't have everything on your list. And I'm like, when my husband and I bought our house, like, there were some, like, when we first started out, we're like, these are not going to put us in a position where we want to be. It has to have this and this and this. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but we had been at our house for 12 years. So we're like, we have to have a pole barn, we have to have a country, and we have to have a pond. And then our real estate agent was like, yeah, but you have to have a budget of this to get that. And we're like, but
triple your budget.
We're okay with doing the work. We're okay with this and that. They're like, well, I'm just telling you, unless you're willing to inch that budget up, you're not going to be able to find it.
Right.
And I forget what the price of the houses were at that time, but we were just under where we needed to be. So, and that's another conversation that you have with your buyers is, if you're willing to go up to that, you might be able to get all of these things. But if you're telling me you want to stay in this price point, and here's what you do as an agent, you show them 3, 6, 9 houses. You beat yourself in the head over it because you're like, they want more than what they are price wise on what they're looking for.
Right.
So show them what they think they want, and then show them, just like those old TV shows. You show them this $300,000 house and then take them to a 150 and be like, this is what you want, but this is what you can afford.
Right.
Again, this is what you want. This is what you can afford. So realistically, they always say don't show somebody that's something out of their price point.
The advice they always
but
give
if
you
you're
is don't even let them look.
But if you're looking for 6 months, 9 months, and they're flexible in their head, they can do it. They just don't want to. But on paper, they're flexible with what they can afford. Show them that 300, or show them what their top of their budget are just over, to show them, look, if you really want
this is what it costs.
Stainless steel appliances with, which those can be switched out, with a 2-car garage in a basement and a fenced-in yard in the location and neighborhood and schools that you want, this is the number that's going to get you there. And that's the moment when they say, okay, I've looked, you've looked, we've had friends looking, it's not happening. We either need to come up, on what or the 80-10-10. 10% of that stuff, you're just going to have to give it up. Or be somewhat flexible, because we ended up settling on the house we got because we either needed to come up, which we weren't willing. We could. We didn't want to do it. So we settled.
Well, I think it's a realization every buyer needs to go through is you're not going to get everything you wanted. And I mean, if you have the budget, build it and make it happen. I guess even still then you might not get there. And kudos to you for telling them. A lot of agents don't do that. They come back to the office and start bitching about it. Oh my gosh, these people just don't realize they're not going to get the house they want. Did you tell them that? Like, you need to have that conversation.
It's hard until if their budget's flexible, if you know how willing they are or how stubborn they are.
Right.
I mean, you might be with somebody that's like, absolutely not. I am not, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then show me the money. You know? And I'll show you what you want.
Right. But
I
think
we've had others
honest with them.
We've had others where I was brutally honest, because we were in we were approaching the $500,000 price point, and initially I think they were at like $250,000, and I'm like, I was like, I know what you want,
right?
And it does exist, but we're gonna have to look at this price point. So we go look at a 425, a 470, and we're like, oh, we love the house. We don't love that payment. So I think we're just going to hang out for a little bit.
We've seen that a little bit recently.
I was going to roll that to you then.
Well, not more than once, actually, in the last month
or
so. And it is kind of like setting that realistic expectation up front, especially on the financing side. This is something, it's not a one-time purchase. Like, you have to make this payment every single month, right?
Yes.
So it's like, on paper, can you afford this?
Yes.
Sure.
Are you showing me that you can afford this? No.
Right.
You're spending way too much money.
Yeah.
You haven't saved any money away besides the little bit that you need for your down payment and closing costs. And you just kind of have to look them in the face and be like, I don't want to be your parent here.
Exactly.
Right.
But where's your money going?
But you're here to get that mortgage. You're here to make that sale.
For sure.
I'm here to sell that house and give them the keys.
Yeah.
But being a good agent is looking them in the eye, or being a good broker or mortgage broker. Say, I know you can afford
but should
this,
you do this?
but are you still going to be able to?
Even the one that you sent me recently, the lady, you showed her the house. The 1% down program.
Yep.
And I was on the phone with her for close to an hour.
Yeah, that was one of my 3.
Yeah, and she was like, well, I have overtime pay, and I was like, it's not about getting you qualified with the income.
Yeah, technically
I'm going based off of your take-home pay. Overtime's not guaranteed every single month.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is the payment where you should be. And she was like, well, how much house is that? And I was like, probably like $100,000 or so.
Yeah.
And I've had 3 of those. I've had 3 of those. And I had a conversation with them, and I said, are you pre-approved? Oh yeah, I'm talking to my lender, blah, blah, blah. This one wasn't you. And I said, okay, well, what's like the absolute top of your price point? Where are you kind of thinking you're going to end up with buying a house? Oh, maybe like 180 to 220, probably 200 being, okay, great. Time went by. We hadn't met, and we haven't seen anything. I'm showing them houses, sending them things. And then it comes back, oh, well, I think I'm going to hold off a little while. I said, oh, what's up? Oh, we had some family stuff come up and blah, blah, blah. I said, that's okay. That's cool. I was like, but have you found anything that you like? Well, yeah, this one, but it's over my price point. So I pull it up and it was significantly over the price point. And I said, just out of curiosity, where are you hoping to be monthly? And this isn't my job. I'm not a mortgage, And they said, between $600 and $800 a month. And I'm like, my goodness. I'm like, okay, we're back down to.
Well, you get into again, you need to talk to someone like Sean because you get on the mortgage calculator somewhere else and it's maybe just showing principal and interest, not showing taxes, insurance, all that stuff. And maybe they qualify today at that, but as we all know, life doesn't get any cheaper. So that's a big obligation, a 15 to 30-year mortgage.
Yes.
And 15 years from now, life's probably going to be a little more pricey than it is today. Sure. So, if your income doesn't scale with that.
And you hear those horror stories too of like someone just buying a house and then like the furnace goes out or there's a leaky roof that didn't get caught during the inspection. It's like, okay, but where do you have the money to then fix that? Oh, I'll just go get a loan. It's like, then you're just going to bury yourself in debt. Yeah. Like that's not a solution to every single problem. It's just get a loan.
Get a loan.
Yeah. Pull out the credit card. Yeah. That'll fix it.
Or a credit card, right?
Like,
if America's in the $1 trillion worth of credit card debt right now. Like, it's
go get a loan.
So that's why. So I've heard that several times then too, where people they're qualified for X amount of dollars. I'm assuming you guys always go over, and I'm just generally looking at you guys, mortgage broker. You go over the payment and thing like that. I don't know if they all do because a lot of times they're like, well, crap, I didn't realize I'm paying X amount per month. This is, after you're under contract, you're scheduling inspections, you're getting ready to go, and then suddenly they get hit with a monthly payment, and they're like, oh crap, this is double what I thought it was going to be. And I'm like, well, didn't you have this conversation? And I know you do, Sean, but didn't you have this conversation with your lender? That
I'm probably out there killing deals.
It's actually like looking at it on paper versus just like having a conversation about like, oh, your monthly payment could be like $2,500. Oh yeah, that sounds okay. And then they see it on paper, and you're like,
it's happening.
It's like it's real,
right? Or they had to step up; they had to increase their purchase price to get the house they wanted, and then suddenly that $2,500 they're expecting is now $3,300, and maxing them out. That's tough. So,
but like I said, I'm probably out there killing deals because I'm too worried
talk
about
myself
other
out of a
people's
job
budgets. I know.
Every week, I think.
Same
I'm
here.
like, this isn't a me problem. This is a you problem because this is going to be a new house payment. Do you want this house payment?
Well, then I love that. Well, what should I do, or what would you do, or whatever? And I'm like, well, I'm in the sales business. I want you to buy the house.
I know, and I tell them that.
Tell them that.
I do tell them that. I'm here to sell you this house, but realistically, is this something you feel like you can swing?
Right. Yeah. That's I would love you to buy a house because that's the only way I'm getting paid here. Get financed by a house. That's how only way I'm getting paid. But at the end of the day, unless you're comfortable with it. So same thing with the even pricing. Going back to that, like pricing's up. Well, would you pay that much for it? Well, I'm not currently looking for a home, so no, that sounds like a terrible price. But that's what the prices are right now, unfortunately. So I mean, that's just life.
I don't see them coming down anytime soon.
Right? No, not at all. So all right, so
that sounds like a terrible price.
Yes, well, I've literally said that several times, and like I said, talking yourself out of a job sometimes. It's just not. Would you pay that? Well, no. Thankfully, I'm not in the market. But if it makes sense for you and your family, and you got to make it happen now, then do it. So the price is too much, the rate's too high, the whatever. But if you got to figure it out, you got to figure it out. So what do they say? Happy wife, happy life, right?
That's right.
I always have to crush Kelly's dreams, though. So sorry, babe, we just can't do it right now. It's not happening. So all right, so we went kind of off topic. We went down a long rabbit hole. 80-10-10. So I don't remember why I first heard this. And I don't know if I'm the one that introduced you guys to this. It would be a long time ago then too. But 80% of the house you're happy with, checks all the boxes. 10% you can fix, remodel, just replace, and then 10% you just have to live with. So I think buying, building, anything in between, if you can get that 80-10-10, I think you've probably won. I don't know how else you. Yeah, again, unless you build or have an unlimited budget, I guess. I don't know where you go from that.
That's everything, isn't it, though? That's your job, that's your car, that's your partner, 80-10-10.
No, my wife is 100% of what I'm looking for. I'm sure I'm more of like a 50, 30, 20 for her, but like.
Good save.
Right, yeah. All right. Anything else there?
I don't think so.
No, all right. So, Sean, I guess real quick on mortgages, is there any kind of rule like that? I guess I haven't heard anything that would be.
It's 2 out of the 3. You're looking at your interest rate, payment, and closing costs.
Right.
I can give you 2 out of the 3.
Yeah.
I can't give you 3 out of the 3.
Right.
If you're really picky, I might only be able to give you 1 out of the 3. But no, it's usually interest rates tied to the payment a little bit, and then closing costs depending on which way the compensation goes, it can be
Sure.
more in compensation with the lower interest rate. So
what were the three again? You could do payment,
interest rate, or closing costs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I want to be happy with all three of those.
I usually just ask, what do you want your monthly payment to be?
And then figure it
And
out
I just
from
figure
there.
it out from there. Yeah. That
It's like
way
the car salesman guys. They do that stuff.
Yeah.
What do you're paying? No, I want to know how much a car is. I don't
Yeah,
care about the payment. So, I was going to show this here then too. I just pulled up Housing Wire this morning. Yeah, this is again nationally on an average 6.93. Is that?
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay. And this won't air for a little bit here yet then. So
Sure.
hopefully they're way lower by the time this actually airs.
I
but-
mean, I know the administration's been putting a lot of pressure on the Fed to cut rates.
Yeah.
There's a slight glimpse that we're
Yeah,
going to see
Trump
one in
hates Powell,
July.
doesn't he?
It's
Maybe.
gotta,
Oh my God,
it's
he
gotta
hates that
come
guy.
down some though. It's gotta come down.
The
a
bond
little bit.
market's kind of been decreased in the last few days, starting in the middle of last week. So that's usually a telltale sign that we're inching towards maybe
Going
a
the
rate
right way
cut.
with that,
So,
maybe.
I don't know what date the Fed meeting is in July, but it's only a few weeks away. So.
Right. I just heard, not to go too deep on that, one of the podcast listeners, that meeting's coming up, but then they don't meet for like a month or two after that. So if they don't do anything this meeting, then they won't.
Right.
It'll be fall.
I think
guess,
that's why they
before
have to, I think there was 3 to 5 rate cut predictions this year.
Sure.
Now we're halfway through the year with none.
Right.
So-
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it just goes the right way, because if it goes the way the market doesn't think it does, it's like
I know.
they just all want
Yeah.
to commit suicide and it all goes
Right.
crazy.
No, wait a
then.
minute.
So
I was
that's-
at an appointment where somebody guaranteed me, and they said they could
Yes,
put in writing
I was there.
that rates are going to drop.
Yes.
So
and we asked for her to put it in writing.
Can you put it in writing?
We did not leave with it in writing though. So, but yeah, they had some cool stats on there. Average days on market 102, which is higher than our market currently than still, but that's quite a ways. Yeah, nothing seems to be going down. Inventory is going up a little bit. Pricing still seems to be going up. Price per square foot, is kind of, that's wild. $300 on average.
Yeah.
That's double us. So,
Right.
all right, on to the next. What do we got here? This thing seems kind of cool. This is
Yeah.
Martha Vineyards.
It's in Martha's Vineyard. It's a house that just hit the market for $33 million.
That's it?
let's
Yeah.
buy it.
What a deal. What's the commission on that?
Yeah, enough. Trust me.
Oh, wow. This is right where it's at. Look at that.
Yeah.
That is our new Remax.
Yeah, we should
remote
move our office there.
location. It's a write-off, right?
Right.
I'm probably just getting some ad.
David Letterman,
that's awesome.
among other celebrities, have homes on this island. But this
That is incredible.
Yeah, this house specifically, when you look at the one side of it, it's just all completely see-through, and it's all like sliding doors for the most part, like that
Yeah.
you can open mechanically and whatnot. So then it's really the indoor-outdoor
Yeah.
living vibe, especially because you're right on the island. You can hear the water and whatnot. But
That's
also,
awesome.
if you're taking a shower or walking around,
Yeah,
with,
everybody's
like
there,
the
huh?
nudist colony
Yeah.
people that we were talking
Yeah.
about, everyone might know. So enter at your own
Well,
risk.
it looked pretty private there for the most part.
Yeah.
but you shouldn't have the crazy hillbilly neighbor walking around
Right.
through there, probably walking down the beach from there. So
Some innocent passing ships might
That's
get a
awesome.
look-ski, but
so this could be yours
That's
for the low,
amazing.
low price of $33 million. Is this a new build? It's got to be
I'm not
almost
sure.
probably.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I could probably print those off and turn them into some sort of a peel and stick sticker for my wall.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Which I just saw that. We were just talking about the Disney cruises, totally off topic, but they have like the inner rooms where they put like a portal, like where you can see outside, but it's not actually outside. It's
Oh.
just a video
Well,
screen
yeah,
of
if you
outside.
could do-
so so
yeah.
you could do
Right.
that. So I was figuring I'd trick my family into just getting a cheaper room inside. Be like, look, you can still see
You can still
outside.
see.
I'm gonna pay
That's so
$5,000 for
smart.
the ocean view, but that's wild.
But yeah, just wanted to throw that on there. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Which I'm
that kind
sure-
of build.
We'll have to have Michael pull us up some prints
Ooh.
someday then too. See if I'm up by the lake. I mean, even that
Yeah.
would make sense even there.
For
That would be
Mm-hmm.
really cool.
This is a different house.
Yeah, it's a different one there.
Yeah.
That
I
looks
don't
like the
know,
one
just
that
kinda
Chris Smith did that teach me how to Dougie, like the Dougie, the little boats. Oh, I know I've shown you guys
No.
that video.
I don't know.
seriously
I
want to
don't
pull
think
it
I've
up.
seen
All right, when we're
that.
done, I'll pull it up. I love it. It's one of my favorite real estate videos ever. All right, cool. Anything else on that, Sierra?
I don't know. Would you guys live in a house? that-
Yes, I 1,000%. Yes.
I wouldn't
You
spend
can just
not
see
that I
into
have $33 million,
everything.
No.
but I wouldn't spend that much money on a house. But
The only thing I think of is like bugs.
Yeah.
I was
Like your
thinking
whole
how
house is
cold.
open, and then you have the lights on, and you live by the water.
Right.
It would just be 1
It's
billion
just
mosquitoes.
mayflies
mosquitoes or
everywhere.
33
flies,
million, you've got people to come in and spray.
spray.
Yeah,
preventative.
true.
Yeah.
Their bugs are not allowed in
Married to a
Martha's
bug guy.
Vineyard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably
They're
not.
just
Yeah.
they're
what
not
they said.
invited.
Yeah.
So.
Honestly, they do probably spray the island.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
probably.
sure they spray
Yeah.
the island.
Those prices are just insane. I mean, I guess we have multiple $1 million homes even at the lake, but
Yeah.
nothing like
I've
33
got $1
million.
million waterfront right here in Tiffin.
Yeah, right here in Tiffin, you do. That's true. Yes. Does it have window? It does have windows.
does.
Not quite this big,
Like that,
but
yeah.
But you're not
In the
paying $33
sunroom.
million though
No.
either. So cool. Love it. All right. Well, we'll move on. So I wanted to talk about. We don't talk much about this teams. This week I kind of wanted to talk about teams, how that affects a consumer, a buyer, seller, and then maybe next week we'll touch when we have Brian here. Teams as a real estate agent. What does that look like for a team? Is it good? Is it bad? So I just found several websites, and of course I don't know what to do with my notes here, but just kind of wanted to get your guys' take, and I get Sean jump in here wherever then too. So if I'm a buyer or seller, does it make sense to work with an individual? It puts you on the spot. I know you gotta.
Right.
You're working with everybody here, so. Buyer, seller, does it make sense to work with a solo agent? Does it make sense to work with a team? And for you though that don't know, an agent can act as a solo agent, meaning that's the person you're getting. It doesn't matter what brokerage they're with, doesn't matter what they're doing. Like you're hiring that individual to help you buy or sell a home. So advantages of that, maybe a little more personal service. Maybe I could argue that obviously pretty easily. Then I feel like we deliver very good personal service as a team. But if the individual agent then is your sole source, so anytime there's an issue, anytime there's anything going on, anytime wants to show a house, to, if you're buying, selling, whatever, you're relying on that single agent. I had a whole list of, let me see if I can pull it up here because I'm already drawing blanks on what the pros of working with it. Obviously, I'm biased. I think, we're a team. I think you should work with a team. But as far as for an individual agent,
Your individuals on the next
is on the next one here, individual here. Solo agent. Okay, so the pros. Yeah, so the personalized service, 100% of the professionals focus, so which I guess we're kind of the same way. So no hands off. The agent's motivated to deliver top results. And then the commission, a full commission stays with the agent, which again, there's no overhead, which to me means to kind of no support, but limited reach and support. The solo agent may lack marketing muscle, staff support, or bandwidth for high volume. Less availability. There's no backup while they're on vacation, busy or handling multiple clients. Variable capacity for growth handling, spikes, and that one doesn't really make sense then too. But I don't know. So as far as for that team then, I would say the pros would be, we have shared support and resources. We have administrator, which is also kind of a transaction coordinator, marketing, lead gen, greater availability. So if the individual agent isn't available, like how often do we do that? Like, hey, I'm going to be gone. Brian's gone today, so he's going to be gone this week. So if he needs help, somebody can probably step in and help him out then.
I think that's the biggest one.
Yeah, for sure.
And feeling like a team, because you can be independent and you can, feel like collectively like you're part of an office. Everybody, even on a team, you're still an independent agent, but it just gives you that sense of wanting to be there, wanting to belong, like feeling like you're part of something bigger than just running into an office that everybody shares.
Sure.
It has like that.
And I feel like too, like sometimes in this industry you have shitty days, and like just to be able to come back to work and have at least 3 other people that are also going to complain with you, even though because that's all they can do for you. Like even if they're not having a bad day, but they can be like, yeah, that's terrible, like I can't even believe that either. Just having that support to come back to, or just to celebrate the good things too altogether.
Sure. And that's a lot of that's all more on like the real estate agent, the inside baseball, like what that looks like. But like today, I just wanted to like for the individual buying or selling a home, what's the pro or con of a team versus an individual agent? Because I've been to listing appointments where we're like, oh, well, so-and-so, basically we're dogging on a team. Well, you're hiring this whole team or whatever. You're getting me, the solo individual agent. I'm going to just, white glove concierge service, this whole thing. Right. And I don't know, just again, I'm 100% biased, but I feel like a team can just shoot holes in all of that. Yeah. Like when they're hiring us or any team, I don't know about any team, but I can only speak to us, I guess. But do you feel like you're less personable with them, or you're going to deliver less service, or?
Yeah, no. I feel like if anything, it gives more security to the buyer or seller, because 99.9% of the time, unless they're asking you to like go see a house on a holiday and no one's going to be available and it's like 2 hours notice.
Right.
Like if one of us can't do it, then someone else is usually like, yeah, I got you. Like we just have to work out schedules and stuff like that. Like they're always going to have someone else that like their information, everything is safe with them, but they're going to be able to get taken care of if life happens and one of us can't be around.
It's like having backup babysitters.
Right.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Grandma can't do it, but you know,
my Aunt Sue can.
Somebody else can do it then too. So I don't know. I was finding a very short list of, I feel like a lot of the pros are similar, whether you're similar solo agent or a team agent. But I feel like the team can almost deliver more because, I mean, we have more shared resources. We have more availability, like you say, to cover.
Training and willingness to share experience, because if you're an independent agent, you might not feel as in our brokerage, we don't have that, because I can speak even for the the agents that come in individually, like as soon as they walk in the door, it's like they're part of the team, even though it's not, that's not the structure. But some offices, I think there's just that wall built up around all the agents where they don't have that
everything.
And that's what I like about the team is that we can often find out a lot more because we're able to cross-reference a lot of the information versus being an independent agent. Like, oh, I talked to that client already. They talked about this house. Oh, well, I talked to them too. Do they know we're on a team? Let's call them out on it or talk to them about it.
Or even just being able, this goes like back to the client eventually, but if we have one that's a weird property or like you can't really get comps on it for whatever reason because it's unique, we can kind of sit around and be like, okay, weird little hypotheses here, like what if you had this and this, what price would you throw on that,
and going
just
in
to go back and forth to each other,
because like we've all went in each other's houses or each other's listings or pre-listings to see what our personal thoughts are on that.
Just getting 4 different ways of thinking on the same place.
And it does vary quite a bit, which is
for sure.
Interesting.
I'd say too, from like a buyer or a seller's perspective, Bill, like what you're asking, working with an independent agent, you only get their resources and their referrals and stuff. Whereas for a team, each and one of you have your own network of people that you're bringing that extra added value as a team versus like an individual. Like your network can only be so big.
Exactly.
So
to Kari's point, I think that collab there.
Experience too, because Shuby has all the experience with septic tanks, and we make jokes about that, but it is nice. But he's had that, for good or bad, he's had that experience. So knowing who to call, like, oh, somebody's really good in farms, or somebody's really good in commercial, or somebody's really good in, first-time home buyers, we can all kind of just, again, cross-reference our experience. And that's what they teach you in school, is they're like, if you don't know how to do it, hook up with the person in your office that has that experience to, help, because you don't get experience until you actually do it anyway. So...
Yep, that's why I just put my old man hat on. Like I sound like the old agents I used to make fun of. I've been doing it for 20 years, and but that comes with a lot of, I guess, hopefully good information. Like or don't follow my same stupid mistake. I screwed this up. Don't do it that way. But I've heard another agent dogging on not our team but teams in general here just semi recently, and wasn't our office, but. Just kind of got me thinking, like, we've never really went down this rabbit hole, and I don't know that the consumer really knows the difference. Most people don't care. A house dings on Zillow, they're hitting buttons, they just want to get to your house. They don't give a crap who's showing them or how the whole thing works. But knowing what I know or what we all know now, I feel like that it is generally going to be a better experience and better service to that client buying and selling a home if they're working with a team then too. So... I don't know. I just can't think of a whole lot more pros of the individual agent, because the one they kept chat GPT in it and everything else, like, oh, maybe a more personalized, white glove service and this. I'm like, well,
no way.
We do. I'm all in on, and you guys are too.
And accountability from your team, because if you're not pulling out the
best, Kara, what the hell are you doing here? Let's figure this out.
If we're a team of 5 or whatever, your weakest link represents your team, so you better bring it, because otherwise you're dragging us down. Go away.
And that is a good point too. The accountability probably brings out that it brings you to the next level, because again, if you're a solo agent, I mean, there's some solo agents that absolutely just murder it and they're awesome, but I don't know that they would be any worse joining a team. I think they would arguably be better if they were on a team. So I don't know. And you're relying on, I think you hit on this, just their experience and their expertise only. They have nothing else to fall back on. The argument would be, I guess, their brokerage, their broker, their whatever. But that again only goes to like how invested is that person in their business. Like, how much are they doing? How much are they, without that accountability?
Yeah.
I know how I was when there was prior to the brokerage we're with now and then started. If it was just me and I'm sitting at home, I'm like, whatever. Am I studying? Am I listening to Tom Ferry videos? Am I bettering my craft? Am I working with other agents and doing that? No, I'm at home flipping laundry when I had extra free time, or doing whatever you need to do, which we still do, but it's a little more accountability. I think helps then too.
Yeah.
And to Sean's point, I think it does help to have that. The differences in our abilities, because our age gap brings our sphere, like you said, because there's just enough age gap that we're overlapping a lot of our people in a good way, not in. We all four of us graduated the same year. We have all the class. We have all the
the same network,
the cousins
all the same everything,
and their friends and their friends' friends. But when you break it down, I think we're like 5 or 6 years apart, all of us.
Me and Sierra are basically the same age.
You basically are.
I mean, it's crazy.
I didn't want to say it in front of everybody, but I think that really helps. Pull from and different school districts and all that too.
Right. So. Cool. All right. Well, I'll quit dogging on it. Again, I'm not trying to dog on anybody. It's just a recent conversation just got me thinking about what the difference would be, and I really couldn't find a whole lot of extra what, screw it, let's all be single agents, because that's way better. You can offer way better service and be way more personalized. But
I feel like at the end of the day, there's not many downsides to it.
Right.
If anything, just it is what it is. Then nothing's like better nor worse, really.
Sure. Yep. And again, at the end of the day, it's just the individual person. I mean, you can be a rock star individual agent team member, but if you're just a half-assed worker, anything, not just agent, just whatever you're doing in life, if you're just phoning it in and not taking it seriously, it doesn't matter if you're solo or team, I guess. So depends on the individual.
For sure.
All right, I'll quit beating that horse then. So, all right, Sean, what do you got? What's going on in Sean's world, mortgage world? Anything crazy? Not to put you in a spot. Just for the record, Sean did this on super short notice, so we didn't give him any time
45
to prepare.
minutes.
Thank you.
It's just, 9 times out of 10, my whole career is usually spontaneous.
Yeah, just being available.
Being quick,
available,
being able to answer my phone. Some pretty neat stuff. I would say we have a conventional 1% down program that came back.
Right.
Where the lender will give up to 2% down payment, up to $7,000 towards the purchase. Obviously, you have to qualify for a conventional loan.
Which that's because most people, they think conventional is 20% down or more. Like that's a lot of people.
I'm still baffled by the misconceptions of mortgages with the amount of information that's on the internet. But first-time home buyers 3%, second-time home buyers 5%. It comes with mortgage insurance. Maybe that's what the misconception is, that if you put 20% down, but mortgage insurance has gotten far cheaper as recent years come than it was in the previous years, which is another misconception, that mortgage insurance is going to be hundreds of dollars.
And that's a PMI, right? That
like a PMI.
PMI, okay.
PMI's for FHA, but it's still mortgage insurance. It just protects the lender, basically.
Right.
Which is funny because it's like, you're loaning the money. You're taking on the risk, but you're added this extra payment every single month to your payment for insurance purposes. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be like,
we go down the rabbit hole too.
Yeah, someone else cover my homeowner's insurance, I guess, right?
Yeah, pretty
I'm
much.
taking the risk of buying a house. But.
Yeah. But other than that, we really wish rates would come down. I think there's a lot of people just looking and sitting on the sidelines right now because of interest rates. Nothing that we can control. Like we've said multiple times, if you can afford the payment, there's no reason to hold you back just because interest rates are higher. But marry to the house, date the rate, right? You can always refinance later. Pretty much when rates drop. ARMs came back, adjustable rate mortgages.
Okay. Oh man, that means ninja loans are right around the
corner.
Yeah, right,
just right around the corner. No, just like not everybody wants to live in the house for the rest of their life, and so again, just tailoring the mortgage to their needs. Hey, I'm only going to be in this house for 3 years. A 5/1 ARM might make the most sense.
Sure.
Right. Just when it comes down to pricing, if you're going to sell the house before it adjusts, why pay more per month with a 30-year mortgage? Now, again, if you're going to live in it, probably not the best idea.
Sure. Right.
But yeah, no, they're pricing on those pretty strong on the FHA side and VA ARMs. Not so much on the conventional, but other than that,
Just need them rates to come down, brother, right?
My job really reflects the market, and
Yeah.
the market's not too great right now. So.
Yeah, it is definitely is.
These
And-
wars and a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, the tariff stuff still looming out there. There's
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that's and everybody's still, we've talked about this 100 times. I'm just going to wait for rates to come down. And I've always, my throwaway is, so is everybody else.
Yeah.
Everybody's waiting on rates to come down. And then as soon as those rates, if they do hit 5%, the high 4, something like that, an unbelievable amount of people are going to come off the
Rushing
sidelines.
yep.
I've been waiting to buy, I'm in a 2.5% interest rate on my current home.
Yeah.
Get this sucker on the market. I want to buy another house
Right.
then. There's so many people married to that rate right now
Yeah.
that, I just don't know that waiting. I think the market demand is going to increase exponentially with rates coming down.
Which typically then you see a raise in home prices.
Of course.
Right.
You've got competitive
and now,
buyers.
And now we're going back to COVID times where
Yeah.
it was
Yes.
competitive offers, 20% over asking,
and
no
good qualified,
inspections,
good
and
qualified buyers
Yes,
for
that
sure.
are
Yeah, that are
bidding
coming with a
higher.
house that's nearly paid off.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
they're-
because they got locked into a low interest rate, but then also the last 3-4 years, home equity is at an all-time high right now.
Yes.
So they just built up all this equity that they
Yep.
can go use and buy a bigger house with.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I think you're going to be
versus competing with the first-time home buyer that barely has enough funds.
which is kind of now, as a
It
lot of those
is.
buyers that couldn't get bought for 2 or 3 years
Right.
are still
Yeah.
trying to buy a home.
Yeah.
So if you're still sitting on the fence, like, oh, maybe I'll wait. I'm waiting for those rates. I just think it's going to be a tidal wave of people that are going to want to buy,
Right.
and we're going to be back to like,
I
oh my God,
have folders of people
show
that
a
are-
house today and write an offer in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
you're never
Right.
getting into it. So, and by the way, you're against 10 offers.
And I think if they're okay with the payment, there's methods or practices that we can try to get the closing costs covered or lowered. There's 100% down FHA programs, like down payment assistance programs
Sure.
that we can use. Like if you can afford the interest rate and the payment, I would be looking at houses to buy right now
Right.
for those exact reasons.
Right. And none of us have a crystal ball, but like we've been
I
been
know.
in this industry and around it long enough
Yeah.
that where I feel like that's going to happen. There's no big crash coming. The rates aren't falling to zero tomorrow. So yeah, I would rather not fight against 15 people when you're doing it, especially when you're going back to your 80-10-10.
Yeah, we're halfway through the
Finally.
year already, and people, we've been looking for a year and a half, 2 years, and it's just they're just casually looking. It's like, no, you need to get aggressively looking, or you're going to be looking for the rest of your,
Right. Yep. Which goes back to that honest conversation about the 80-10-10. Like just you found it. This is most of it. We're at 95 at this point. 95.5. Like let's get in there. So
I don't want to get into anything, but do you think it's like a psychology thing where we're like constantly on social media, we're seeing like all this nice things, and we're like
100%.
Oh, it's just consumed.
100%.
like we're just consuming all of this, like it should be perfect all the time almost. And
Right.
then like you go look at a house and it's obviously not going to be perfect.
No.
Right.
It's going to be lived in.
they're
because
looking at
that's
the
what houses
$33
are
million
for. Yeah.
Martha Vineyard
Yeah.
see-through house.
Honestly,
like, well, I should have that.
Visit
Yeah.
anybody's house except for yours because you just built it, but but like anybody's normal house. And it's 80-10-10. I guarantee
Yeah.
everybody in here is 80-10, even you, because
Oh, even
of
still,
location and stuff.
Well,
I
Kelly's
mean,
still yelling at me about stuff we haven't done yet,
See?
or even stuff that needs redone already.
yeah,
now
I say you
that-
build
yeah,
it, and it's
yeah.
still 80-10-10
Yes.
because there are definitely things that you can't,
Especially
that you
because
have
your
to live with.
preferences change too, and like
Facts.
over time,
Sure.
like the
Right.
you that buys a house, if you're 25 and you buy the house, the 30-year-old that's selling it is looking for something probably completely different.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Right. Yeah, I
You
wouldn't
have
want to
to
move
give
back
a
into the house I
little.
bought when I was 18, 19. You know what I mean? That was a fun house. We had a lot of fun there, but I wouldn't be buying that today.
yeah.
Have you circled back and thought if that ever came up, you might buy it?
No, never. Yeah, it's not happening.
Like that your first vehicle or something.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. Go buy that thing. But yeah, I do think social media comes in a lot of that thing.
Yeah.
So just similar but different. My daughter, 11 years old, she's on TikTok, she's on whatever, watching things happen. And she's sitting at home in the summer and just like, what are we doing today? Why aren't we doing whatever? And like, what are you talking about? Like, we should be
Skydiving
Look,
and
so-and-so's
jet
wherever,
skiing.
so-and-so's
Yeah.
wherever. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
babe, but that's like 1 out of 500 people
Yeah.
doing something today, and tomorrow you're going to see someone else doing something cool. You're again trying to explain this to an 11-year-old. I can't even, I can't even wrap my head around it. Like everybody, all people aren't all out doing all these wonderful, crazy things every
Every
day.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people are just posting their highlight reel
Yeah.
of life.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's what you'd see probably someone looking for a house on their Pinterest, I guess. People still use that. I don't know how old I am. You know, like they've got this highlight reel of what their house should be. Yeah. And does that fit their 80-10-10? You know, no, it should be the Martha
Mine
Vineyard
doesn't.
house. Yeah, for sure.
My kitchen sucks, okay? I'm just putting it out there in the world.
No, I hate everything social media pretty much, you know.
Yeah.
It's just, I love it, but it's not reality. It's just not.
Yeah. You hate your house, buy some flowers. Buy a new mat for the front door.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Buy a new shower curtain. Do something to spruce it up. You don't need a whole new house. But
Just all the
if you
time.
do, call us.
So you brought it up. What's the answer to it, Sean? Just stay the hell off of it?
No, I mean,
Yeah, social media.
social media, you really get into it as an algorithm. I've just trained my algorithms to just give me the information that I want, which is like business related stuff, golf.
Yeah, that's all
stuff,
mine
funny.
is.
Is like if you continue to watch, you know, negative stuff, you're going to get fed more negative stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to look at housing stuff, you're going to find housing stuff. Like, I don't know. I just say train your algorithm to be positive and
it's all
I like that.
tailored.
and
Mine's all
don't
funny
care
real
about
estate, so.
what other people are doing because it's not unrealistic because they're obviously doing it, but it's just not. It's just the highlight.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which I even still keep continuing on that rabbit hole. So most of my algorithms are kind of trained to that, you know, business building, real estate, things like that. But then it still makes me feel like a failure when you see all these people.
True.
Alex Hormozy on there.
Sure,
Big,
yeah,
I'm going to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
Blah,
If
blah.
you're not
I'm like,
making $100 million a year,
get up at 5 a.m. and just do everything and don't go to bed ever.
Right.
Like just work. I'm like, oh my God. I feel like I'm a workaholic.
Crap,
now.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I'm like, shit, I suck. Like,
true.
So my algorithm still, I'm trying to encourage it to be stuff that
Right.
helps me, but it still doesn't help sometimes.
Yeah, very much so.
So, all right. Well, on that positive note, we'll get out of here. So that's episode 43. Sean, thank you for filling in. Appreciate it. Yeah, go to Martha's Vineyard, buy a house, hire a real estate team, share, like, do all those things, folks. We will see you next time. Appreciate you stopping by.
Bye.